In this video, we will discuss the red flags of abuse. We'll delve into the various types of abuse, be it physical, emotional, sexual, or financial. We'll help you recognize the warning signs, the subtle and not-so-subtle indicators that suggest something isn't quite right. We'll also guide you on how you can seek help, should you or someone you know be caught in such a situation, because understanding these signs is the first step towards helping yourself or someone else escape an abusive situation. Abuse can take many forms. It's not always as clear-cut as a physical altercation. Emotional abuse, for instance, can be subtle, yet just as damaging. It encompasses actions like constant criticism, humiliation, and manipulation. Then there's sexual abuse. This involves any unwanted sexual activity forced upon a person without their consent. Financial abuse, on the other hand, is often overlooked. This form of abuse involves controlling a person's access to financial resources, making them financially dependent. At the heart of all these forms of abuse is a common thread: power and control. The abuser seeks to dominate and control their victim, using whatever means available to them. Understanding these different types of abuse can help us gain a more comprehensive view of what abuse really is. It's not just about the visible bruises and scars. It's also about the invisible wounds, the ones that are harder to spot but are equally, if not more, damaging. Recognizing these types of abuse is the first step towards identifying red flags. Physical abuse often leaves visible marks, but not always. It's important to know that the signs of physical abuse may not always be crystal clear. Sure, physical abuse often results in unexplained injuries, bruises, cuts, or burns that don't align with the explanations provided. But sometimes there are subtler signs to look out for. Have you noticed someone constantly wearing long sleeves or pants, even in hot weather? This could be an attempt to cover up physical injuries. Or maybe it's not about what you see, but what you feel. The vibe around certain individuals can be a telling sign. For instance, a person might display a noticeable fear or anxiety around a particular individual, even if they can't or won't explain why. These signs are not definitive proof of abuse, but they are red flags that warrant attention. Remember, it's not about jumping to conclusions, but about being aware and taking these signs seriously. Physical abuse is never okay and is a clear red flag that something is wrong. Emotional abuse can be harder to recognize, but is just as damaging. It's a silent predator, often masked by the abuser's manipulation. The signs may not always be apparent to an outsider looking in, but they can be devastating to the person experiencing them. For instance, extreme mood swings can be a warning sign. If someone is unpredictably loving one moment and explosively angry the next, it's a clear indication of emotional instability and possibly abuse. Another sign is withdrawal from friends and family. Abusers often isolate their victims, cutting off their support networks and making them feel alone in their struggles. Low self-esteem is also a common symptom of emotional abuse. A person who is consistently belittled or made to feel worthless may begin to internalize those negative messages. Lastly, changes in personality or behavior can be a red flag. If someone you know becomes increasingly anxious, depressed, or secretive, they might be dealing with emotional abuse. It's crucial to remember that emotional abuse is not always overt. It can be subtle, like constant criticism, humiliation, or controlling behavior. But no matter how it manifests, its effects are profound. Emotional abuse can erode a person's self-worth, trust in others, and even their mental health. It's a serious issue that deserves our attention and action. Sexual and financial abuse are other forms of abuse that are important to recognize. Both of these abuses can be subtle and may go unnoticed until the damage is severe. Let's start with sexual abuse. This form of abuse can manifest in various ways, but some noticeable signs include significant changes in sexual behavior or attitude. For instance, an individual may become overly withdrawn or, conversely, overly sexual. Moreover, unexplained pregnancy or sexually transmitted diseases can also be indicators of sexual abuse. It's important to remember that these signs may not always be apparent, as the abuser often manipulates the victim into silence. Now let's move on to financial abuse. This type of abuse is often tricky to identify as it revolves around money, a topic many people are reluctant to discuss openly. However, some common signs include a lack of access to money or financial resources, even for basic needs. The individual may seem secretive about their finances, or there may be unexplained withdrawals from their accounts. Furthermore, financial dependence on the abuser is another significant red flag. This dependence is often created deliberately by the abuser. who may restrict the victim's employment opportunities or control their income. Sexual and financial abuse are serious red flags that should not be ignored. Recognizing these signs is the first step towards intervention and support, potentially saving someone from a dangerous situation. Remember, abuse is never the victim's fault, and help is available. If you or someone you know is experiencing these red flags, it's important to seek help. It's essential to understand that you are not alone in this situation. There are people out there who genuinely want to help, and resources are available to guide you through these challenging times. One of the first steps you can take is to reach out to local authorities. They are trained to handle situations of abuse and can provide immediate assistance if you are in danger. Don't hesitate to dial the emergency number in your country if you feel threatened or endangered. Another vital resource is your trusted circle of friends or family members. If you feel safe doing so, confide in them about what you're going through. They can provide emotional support, help you make a safety plan, and even accompany you to important appointments or meetings. In addition, there are local domestic violence hotlines available in most areas. They are staffed by trained professionals who can provide advice, resources, and even shelter if needed. These hotlines are usually available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and can offer immediate help and guidance. Remember that it's okay to ask for help. It can be scary to reach out, especially when dealing with abuse, but it's a crucial step towards ensuring your safety and well-being. You are worth it, and you deserve to live a life free from fear and harm. It's also crucial to remember that everyone's journey is different. What works for one person might not work for another. But the most important thing is to take that first step, to recognize the red flags, and to reach out for help when you need it. Remember, recognizing the red flags of abuse is the first step towards getting help. Please share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more informative content like this.